Hello again. Almost every time I open my newspaper these days, I see something which makes me feel that I'm living in the world of Alice in Wonderland. That is to say, situations arising or pronouncements by prominent people which bear absolutely no relation to reality and are founded on the type of logic which might be encountered at the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. The chief of the London Police, Commissioner of Police for the Metropolis, has expressed views which are a perfect example of this tendency. He says in a newspaper report that black boys in London are more likely to be dead at the age of 18 than white boys. Then, in the most stunning non sequitur I have ever heard in the whole course of my life, he says that this is shameful for the city. Why are black boys in London more likely to die young? Are they the victims of racist murders? Now that would be shameful, but they're not. The high death rate is caused by the fact that black boys are more likely to kill each other than white youths or those of Chinese ancestry, say. In other words, the problem with the premature deaths of black youths is caused by other black youths stabbing or shooting them. Now, this is not shameful for the city as a whole, as the Commissioner seems to think. It reminds me very much of the fuss during the COVID epidemic when it was discovered that black people were more likely to die of COVID than white people. Scandal. Were black people being denied treatment? Were they being neglected? People like Diane Abbott complained that these high death rates were somehow connected with racism. In fact, of course, they were connected with obesity. Fat people were more likely to die of COVID than thin people. And the fact of the matter is that black people are more likely to be obese than white people or those of other ancestries. A similar fuss was made last year about the fact that black mothers are more likely to have health problems in pregnancy and to die of conditions such as preeclampsia. Same thing. Direct correlation between being overweight and having high blood pressure and preeclampsia. 33% of Chinese people in Britain are obese, compared to 70% of black people. See the problem there? These are just fairly typical examples of the gradient of which I have spoken many times before, which has people of Chinese ancestry at one end and black people at the other, with white folk in the middle. Whether we're looking at incomes, A-level results, health problems, trouble with the police, early deaths, school exclusions, or a host of other phenomena, we always see Chinese people at the top of the gradient for desirable things like getting a first at university, with black people at the bottom of that gradient, and with undesirable things like being sent to prison, it is reversed, with black people at the top and the Chinese at the bottom. That this is a real effect is clear, although we may, of course, debate the causes. What I find frightening is that nobody else ever dares speak of this openly. And so when the Commissioner of Police for the Metropolis is talking about black boys killing each other, he claims it is shameful for the whole city. I give a link to a newspaper article which quotes him. Either I am completely mad and irrational, or many public figures are deliberately devious and cunning and are avoiding stating the obvious and explaining what is really going on.